What's up, y'all? Today's video, I'm going to attempt to show you guys how I make my homemade chicken stock. This is like a staple product in the South. Where I'm from, we use chicken stock on a lot of stuff. The way I make my chicken stock, you basically have all these ingredients in your pantry or on your counter. If you guys want to see how I make my chicken stock, which is the way my mother taught me, the way her mother, which is my grandmother, taught her. Yep, if y'all want to watch that video and see how I make my chicken stock, keep watching. All right, first things first, you need a pot. Now, I don't have a lot of big pots. This is basically my biggest pot other than my Dutchie. I prefer this one. As I make the chicken stock, I can pour it into the containers and I can go ahead and, can them up. But yeah, I don't make a huge batch of it. Now, if I did make a huge batch, I would use my mom's collard green pot. And if y'all from the South, you know what a collard green pot is, and it definitely ain't this little. Inside, I have some leftover chicken. This chicken has been in the refrigerator probably a week. Normally, when we do things like this, where I make way too much chicken because I had made 2 chicken hens. If I have too much chicken, that's when I decide to make chicken stock. What I normally will do is I will take the skins off, put it in a bowl by itself. I will take the actual meat out and I'll shred the meat up and I will put that in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. So that way, if I do decide I wanna make like a soup or something like that, I can just grab that chicken out the freezer, thaw it out, throw it in my soup stock, call it a day. And then for the skin, I like to use the skin and the bones off of this chicken to make my chicken stock. So 2 for 1, you see? First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the skin off and get the meats in separate bowls. I got my bowl here to put the actual meat in because I'm going to use this skin. And what I do is I just take it off like that. Just peel it off. And it should just come right off. A lot of times I use the skin, but I think today I'm not gonna use the skin. I'm gonna actually like go ahead and compost this. So I got a second bowl here for my skins. So, skin, meat. And this right here, that's actually seasoning because I use an injector for the seasoning. Now I am gonna leave some of this meat on the bone because I don't really need all this meat and I don't want it to go to waste because it's already seasoned. This right here, this is a piece of fat. And so I'm putting it over there with the skins. So that's pretty good. Let me go wash my hands. I'll be right back. The next thing you want to do after you've gotten as much chicken off of your chicken that you want as far as meat is concerned, and after you've taken off the skin, you want to fill up with water. I have the actual bones in here, a little bit of meat, and a little bit of skin around the wings, because you know, trying to get the skin off the wings it's a headache. So I'm not doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill up this pot with water, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got my pot with water, and right now, the water is about here, okay? So it's over half, but not like full to the brim. The reason why is because I want to be able to put all my other stuff in here before I actually fill it up. And plus, you don't want it to be to the very, very top because while it's boiling, it might boil over. And you're going to be skimming the top at the same time to get like the fats that you don't want in your chicken stock. I have some frozen celery, and I actually have like some carrot peels from the other day when I was peeling some carrots that I got out the garden. So I'm gonna put that in here as well. I'm going to cut my double boiler onto medium high. That's what I have it on. I don't want it to be on high because like I said, high just be burning stuff, or at least in my house it do. So I'm gonna put a good amount of celery in there. This celery, I actually washed it prior to freezing it. So that was one less thing I needed to do, but I'm also going to strain because I don't want all the bits and stuff like that in my stock. I want my stock to be like clear. So I'm getting all that out. I have a couple of little pieces of carrot in here that I have frozen, just throwing it in there. Now, I do want to say this because there's a lot of people that don't understand this when you make chicken stock. This is a frozen frozen onion from the garden. It's basically half of an onion that I had frozen. And so instead of like getting rid of Ziploc bags like this, it does have a little bit of freezer burn, which is why I'm going ahead and using it now. I'm going to flip it inside out and I'm going to put it in my strainer over here by my sink. I'm going to let it dry out and then I'm going to chop up some more onion to put in here to put in the freezer because I use a lot of onion. I use a lot of peppers and stuff like that, which is why I grow a lot of that in my garden. And to keep things from going bad, I go ahead and prepare it and then freeze it. So that way when I am cooking, it's easier for me to just go in the freezer, open the drawer, figure out what I need, grab it and start cooking. It's a lot easier for me than to sit here and try to chop up an onion every day or peel some garlic every day because it's too much. Too much. I got 2 kids. So now, these are my carrot peels that I froze. This is carrot peels and carrot tops. I want to say this is like 3 or 4 carrots that I have, and you'll see them go in here like that. I got my garlic here. I have some that I've already separated, but then I have others. Right now, I'm taking my pelon and I'm basically just smashing it. And then I'm just gonna throw it in there. I don't have to peel it or nothing like that because while it's cooking, it's going to go ahead and peel itself. And then also, when I get ready to can this, I'm going to strain all of this stuff out anyway. So it keeps me from having to do double the work. Okay, just go ahead and smash it so that way the garlic clove itself will start to separate a little bit. And I just throw it in the water. I just need a couple pieces. I love garlic, so for me, extra garlic ain't gonna hurt nobody. So I'm grabbing like an extra maybe 3-4 pieces. And I'm just smashing them just to make sure that they're open for when the stock starts cooking. Washing my hands a little bit. And another thing my mom always taught me, clean as you go, boo. So I have my garlic in there, my onions in there, I have my celery and my carrots. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, it's a homemade seasoning. I don't know where y'all call it, where y'all are from, but we call it seasoned sunshine. Some people call it Caribbean sunshine. Green seasoning, basically. That's exactly what it is. It's got all your herbs and stuff like that in there. And so I make a big batch of that and I freeze it. So my seasoning looks like this. I got this ice tray at Walmart for, I think $1. It was 2 for $1. And so I have one that has this in there. And then I have another one with some homemade tomato paste. So what I do is I normally will take 1 to 2 of these because I don't make a lot of stock. Like I said, if I'm making like a big batch, yeah, you put more. But because I'm not making that big of a stock, I'm only gonna use 1. Here is where some people meaning my mama, She used to put Scotch cheese in her chicken stock because she wanted her chicken stock to be a little on the spicy side. So she would take one Scotch bonnet and put it in there. She would literally poke a hole in it and just throw it in there. Other times she doesn't, especially if she knows other family members are gonna be eating this chicken stock. She don't do that because not everybody like a spicy stock. So keep that from happening. I ain't gonna do it. But first thing we're gonna get, Tony's. Always gotta have a little bit of Tony's in your seasoning. I don't do a lot. I just, you know, sprinkle a little bit. Then I also do this one, which is a McCormick brand. These are like the only things that I put in my stock that is not customary to most people, if that makes sense. I'm grabbing a couple of bay leaves. I'm going to put, what, 3? Yeah. I'm gonna put 3 bay leaves in there. I'm gonna do a little bit of thyme. Ooh, that pepper. Lord have mercy, that pepper. All right. I'm gonna throw a little bit of salt in there because you want to salt it to taste. I'm not doing too much because that Creole seasoning has salt and that McCormick also had a little bit of salt. All right, reach down here in the back, I got my Maggies. Now, because I cook a lot of chicken, I don't have chicken bouillons. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in there. And then as it's cooking down, I'll add more. Last thing you wanna put, Saison. This right here, this is my holy grail. This is one of them products that I can't do without. Like, you know how you can do without some things? This ain't one of them. Now, it is gonna change the color. I'm gonna let you know that now. It's gonna change the color. But it's good. The last thing I forgot to add, oregano. And I don't know if you can see it, but there you go. And I'm just sprinkling it in there. That's all I put in my stock. Now, I'm gonna let this cook down. I'll show you what it looked like as it's boiling. But right now, let me bring you in. That way, you can see. This is what it looked like right now with all the seasonings and stuff like that on top. All right, this is what it looks like when it is done. It did not go down very much. But as you can see, that's the chicken. And then you got all the goodness. Look, one of the wings came off. But yeah. Okay, so this is my strainer setup. I have a separate pot here. And I am going to use this strainer so that it gets all of the good bits and stuff like that out. The first strain I'm gonna set up is just one of my colanders inside of another big bucket, well, another big pot like that. This is gonna be my first strain, and then I have a smaller one here if I need to use it. All right, so I got everything in the pot here. And what I'm gonna do is, all these pieces here are going to go in compost. They just need to be cooled down because they are way too hot right now. All right, so this is my stock right here. I have little bits and pieces in there, and I could use that strainer to do it, but I'm not going to because I don't need to. But I don't mind having these little bits in here. That doesn't bother me, but if it does bother you, you can use a more precise strainer to get all of it out so it's like a completely clear stock. And then over here, this is the remaining parts of my chicken and all the other good little pieces and stuff like that. And I have it in this strainer so it can cool off. And then it also will strain out some extra liquid that needs to come out. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it when it comes to making a homemade chicken stock. Now, at this point, what you want to do is you want to take this stock and you want to put them into containers. You want to put them in jars so that way you can go ahead and you can your chicken stock. But because I know myself, it serves me no purpose to do that because I've been wanting some really good, tasteful chicken noodle soup for a minute. And so because now I have this stock, I guarantee you this stock is gonna be gone in like 2 or 3 days because I'm gonna eat chicken every single day for like breakfast and lunch. I'm gonna be having chicken noodle soup because I love chicken noodle soup, especially if it's homemade. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are around the world. And I will holler at y'all next time. Bye.